Alright guys, Scrappy again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. OpTic get their first win with Huke in the roster last night. Kenny seems to imply that he's a better fit for the team right now than Pred was just a couple of days ago. But how have we got to this situation? Some promotional material yesterday, formerly featuring Pred, now seems to have been doctored by OpTic to change it and effectively erase Pred from this whole situation. What has Pred done over the last few days that's come to light behind the scenes to get to this point? When will OpTic decide to make some sort of comment on this as the speculation continues to go wild behind the scenes? Very much into your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. Well, we have a lot to get into today, as always it seems. Firstly, GentleMate. They bought the roster spot of Los Angeles Guerrillas, although the funny thing is, of course, they're still called Los Angeles Guerrillas, at least in part for now. Rumour has it, it was, about $1 million they paid to get this deal done, which is pretty interesting to think about, right? Because the spot was worth $25 million apparently when the teams paid for it, but we know that Activision paid that money back, or at least is intending to pay whatever was paid of that $25 million, because no team, maybe one or two teams, I don't know, paid the full $25 million. Most teams paid what they had to, and then the pandemic happened and they said, all right guys, we'll delay the payments. Those payments never happened, and then Activision said, all right, we're going to change the model, you guys can have that money back, and we're going to go a different route, possibly because there were threats of lawsuits and whatever happening behind the scenes. So, the spots can be sold and bought out. $1 million seems to have been enough to get the Los Angeles Guerrillas spot onto GentleMate, but they missed the deadline to change their name fully, so they're stuck with LAG, at least in part for now. I know there's been a lot of talk about the game over the last couple of days. Vault Control doesn't really inspire much joy in me personally, and there's a few other maps, of course, we'd like to see change. I know that Emmy was coming out here talking a little bit about Arsenal. Of course, this is Frequency. There's other maps they could think about. This, of course, being Fringe from Black Ops 3. Don't know how well that's going to work on boots on the ground. I'd want to put Stronghold back in from Black Ops 3 personally, a couple of changes. This, of course, being Moscow as well from Black Ops Cold War. Some maps they may consider. Hacienda's now in the game. I'm sure there's going to be more to come. Haci is not being played this weekend by the pros. It will be played after this weekend by the pros, which I believe the first time that's going to be seen is on like the 9th or 10th of January when we get to the first minor tournament of the year online. Cloud9, they got a win last night. Kind of wild. They've not been in COD since for 7 years. They were in COD in the Jetpack era. This was their team at the time. Aches, Exotic, Assault, and Priestahh. A wild time in COD for sure. I know the desk also put together a tier list of the way that the league currently looks. We'll see how this goes by the end of the weekend, because yesterday, of course, Cloud9 handled business against Minnesota Rocker, so you'd imagine that you've got to change them around to some degree. I will say the S and the A tier here are definitely going to be controversial. Thieves are upper in the S tier, and to be fair, Toronto, did they beat FaZe more comfortably than Thieves did? I think you could well argue yes. Does that make them S tier? I mean, maybe on the results so far you can argue it. I'm not so convinced. I think they'll be in the ballpark. They're also very high on Ravens as well. Probably too high, to be perfectly honest. But look, there's always going to be some sort of controversy here. Nobody in the F tier, which is nice and probably fair, to be honest, because Falcons have been, the worst, but better maybe than some people's expectations so far. But let's talk about some of this OpTic drama again. This I thought was pretty funny here, right? Huke and Kremp seen each other at OpTic's HQ. We obviously know that they have their history together. When Huke and Kremp played on Dallas Empire, it was all look at the mini-map type thing when Huke was dropped from that roster. Now they're both back on OpTic, but I think it's, Huke's a very likable guy, great player, lots of talent, very high ceiling. This game I think suits him quite well, and it seems like he's a player that the team gets along with very well already. That's one side of the story. The fact that Kyler was even available as an option for OpTic, what it means for the long term, we've discussed it over the last few days. What I really want to know is what's going on with Pred, how has this happened in the way that it has done, and, how are we at this point when just a couple of days ago, Pred was on stream playing with the OpTic guys, and all of a sudden Pred is now seemingly being, erased from OpTic's legacy. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. If you ask Scump, hey, what was the roster that you won the World Championship with last year? Is he going to say, oh yeah, it was, Dashy, Kenny, Shotzzy, and actually I'm not sure the fourth was, redacted information or whatever, right? Because, yeah, this is kind of wild. And here's Huke sitting down on the couch. Now, this was spotted last night by Marcus on the Reddit, and he put this together. So this was, I guess, last weekend. So we saw Gorillas played, GentleMate, Gorillas, mate, whatever. They played Ravens. And so this was last weekend's games when you guys can see top right, actually, OpTic played Cloud9. That was before this happened. So before the drama happened when Pred was still on the roster, we scroll down all the way to the bottom of the image, we'll find this. So a little bit of promotion for OpTic's winter collection, and you've got Zinni, and you've got Pred, and on the far right-hand side, you've got Scump and Shotzzy. So, yeah, a player, obviously former player, and content creator of the team. This is what they were doing. If you go to today's image or yesterday's image, you will find the following. If we go all the way to the bottom again on the same side, you will find it now looks like this. So on the right-hand side, it's the same story, you know, shop, OpTic collection, whatever, Scump and Shotzzy. On the left-hand side, methods and Preds, but not the Pred that we're used to. I mean, this is the side-by-side comparison for you guys, and they've gone to one of their designers and said, hey, can we edit this image to take Pred out? Because, you know, this is not clearly Pred anymore. Obviously, they've changed things out. They've got rid of him, basically, haven't they? This is now where we are today. So this is, like, kind of crazy, to be honest, because if they were still standing by Pred in any way, they would not need to be doing anything like this. The fact that the OpTic account has unfollowed him, the fact that the OpTic Texas account has unfollowed him, the fact that he's lost his affiliate mark, the rumor has it he's going back to Australia. So, you know, he's done. He's not on OpTic anymore. There's no way. What I find remarkable is that, like, they're trying to just erase him, right, from the team. Like, if Pred just wasn't playing very well or was going through something that he needs to deal with personally, I don't think they would be so quick to make these changes. It feels to me that whatever Pred has done is something that must bring some, like, disgrace to the organization or something like that. It's the only explanation that I can imagine why you would treat it in this manner when Pred is like a taboo word to be mentioned on the OpTic watch party, right? Just because, you know, of the debate of what the hell is happening behind the scenes right now. So, you know, that's the only conclusion that I can come up with, that whatever Pred's done, we don't know, is something which the OpTic organization finds so disgraceful that they're just erasing everything associated with him. I'm sure at some point they've got to say something. I don't know whether it's going to be, you know, a process episode, they make some sort of comments. But this isn't like a random behind-the-scenes employee that's never been public-facing that people haven't heard about getting removed for whatever reason. Like, this is a top-quality megastar player who won the World Championship with the team just a few months ago. Like, you can't just not say anything forever. And maybe they're not able to right now with, you know, the investigation that maybe is going on into whatever. You know, obviously people are talking about match fixing and stuff, whether that's true or not, who knows. But maybe OpTic are not in a position to really comment on it for now. But someone's got to say something at some point. Like, that's the conclusion I would draw. But whatever's going on there and continues to go on there, OpTic have Huke. And that seems to be, on all the evidence we have, that's their plan for the rest of the season, I would imagine. I don't see Pred coming back to OpTic ever as a player. He may come back to the league and compete again. I'd like to see him, like, do that, assuming that he can. And, you know, just because he's a talented player, he's a fun guy to watch. But I don't see, like, there's no way they'd be erasing this association with Pred if there was any chance of Pred coming back at some point in the future, in my opinion. And maybe that will have a trickle down to the league and to some other teams, what their decisions might be as well. But anyway, Huke's going to be on OpTic for the long haul, I would imagine. And Kenny says, I don't know what was going on map 1, but did very well after that. And even the reaction from OpTic, I mean, again, it's not like, oh, well, great to see Huke in for Pred, wishing aG the best. It's like, no, it's like Pred doesn't even exist. I mean, like, we're talking about the nuke coming in and delivering the goods. Obviously, Kenny talks about it. He says, Huke was the perfect player for us. We can do whatever we want because our pacing is just so fast. So I wanted to share a couple of moments here of Kenny talking about Huke, especially in the roster, why he's such a good player for the team at the moment, why Kenny's so excited about playing with him. They're so much on the same page. And it seems to imply already that, sure, Pred and Shotzzy might have a higher ceiling as a duo than Shotzzy and Huke, but the chemistry does seem to be better with Huke on the roster for now. The team seems like they're having more fun, to be honest, and they're probably a better overall outfit and team right now, given the pacing and other factors, and even just the understanding of the game that Kenny seems to be implying. I mean, some of the things that Kenny say here in terms of him and Huke being on the same page kind of implies that Pred and himself were not.
Hey, we got it working.
Yep.
Great to have you here in the interview. And can you talk to me a little bit about the vibe with Huke? It seems seems like the gameplay is playing out pretty well. But what's it like in the room?
I mean, I think Kyler was like the perfect player for us because he just fits right into our system and how we want to play the game. He's also taught us a lot about like how to play certain stuff, and I think in S&D, like I showed today, like we can kind of do whatever we want because like our pacing is just so fast. But it's been a good vibe. We've been having good scrims, and I feel like Kyler, like I said, has been the best fit that we possibly could to use.
Great to hear.
I think we're still kind of trying to test certain maps.
Right.
Honestly, I feel like this year hasn't really been much on me calling the maps. I feel like today, like it was all on Kyler. Like whatever he wanted to play and what he was confident on the playing, like we wanted to play that to make sure he felt, like I said, comfortable. But yeah, we're definitely testing a lot. We're just trying to figure out where we feel like we're strong at or we're weak at. But the red card, the first map today, I don't know what I was doing. I was kind of trolling. I wasn't really thinking. It was first map with Kyler type jitters. I feel like I was moving a little bit too fast. But
you did so good though. I mean,
you were moving too fast.
You were moving.
Oh yeah, I was moving. I mean, first map, I just was doing some stuff that I definitely was like a little not me. I could tell I was dying a lot, and I was like, wow, I wouldn't do that. And it was kind of like I had to calm down for a little bit. But I think S&D wise, like you can tell today, like we're kind of doing a mixture of everything. Going to both bomb sites, you know, getting a mixy, just playing aggressive on defense. And I think like Kyler fits that for us a lot. And he's, in the few days we had of practice, he's helped us with that immensely.
Awesome.
Of course.
Kenny, I want to ask you, you know, I feel like with Kyler, a lot of teams, you kind of have to play around him a little bit more than you would other sub players. How does that change sort of like your guys' approach to respawn in general? How's that been?
I don't think it's been realistically that for our team because I feel like Shotzzy's kind of the same player.
He is, yeah.
But they kind of move around the map like so smoothly together that it doesn't really feel like we skip a beat in respawns most of the time. Like I think the red card today was kind of an anomaly like map because we've been really good on that map. But I think like we don't really have to play around Kyler. I feel like Kyler, his comms have been crazy good for us. And honestly, like I said, I feel like for him, like anything I have to come usually, like he's already there, like a step ahead. And that's one thing I've gassed him on from the past few days is that I don't really have to tell him to do many things because we're kind of thinking the same thing. So yeah, I think for him, it hasn't been playing around him. It's just been playing our system, how we want to play the game and, you know, playing ahead, I feel like.
All right, that's good to hear. I got one follow-up though. Y'all gonna play Protocol Control at some point, brother? Anybody?
Listen, like what I just told you first. Listen, it ain't on me. I also don't want to play that map because as an AR player, I'll speak for all the AR players. Protocol Control is not fun.
Not even Kenny likes it.
Just listen.
Facts.
So OpTic Texas, they are back in action this evening. These are your 4 games of the day. They play Gentle Mate, so Los Angeles Guerrillas Mate. That is, oh yeah, I don't want to say that over again. I don't know what I'm going to do with that this season. But they play that second game of the day. Gentle Mates were better yesterday. They played, who'd they play? Thieves. Pretty tight indeed. All the hard points are insanely good. So I think that's going to be a challenge for OpTic. I don't think it's going to be an easy win. I would say they're the favourites, though, at the end of the day. Guerrillas are 0-3 starting off the year. Toronto should get the dub against Falcons. Of course, we want to see whether Falcons can prove to have made some progress week on week. They play FaZe tomorrow as well, Falcons. So that is a bit of a rough one. Tonight, they're going to have to make some sort of a challenge. This series, though, third of the day, I'm very interested to see because I think FaZe, they may come out this week and say, all right, you know, we're still here. We started the season 0-2. We're going to come out and slam these guys. And that's probably what they do. But Ravens, we know they're good at search and destroy. FaZe's search and destroy has not been so good so far. Slasher versus his former team. I think there's a chance here Ravens look solid and put up a fight. I've still got FaZe winning this one. If FaZe destroy them, then I think that's a bit of a statement that FaZe are still here to stay. But if it's, you know, 3-2 or 3-1 and it's close maps in there and maybe FaZe lose another search and destroy, I do think it's a little bit telling of where those two teams lie for the season. And then Boston Surge. Can Surge bounce back after a difficult day yesterday? Can Boston continue their very good momentum right now? That's probably a series that I'll be talking about tomorrow morning, to be honest. But very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.
That retake bullshit, bro.
Especially on A, dude. Like, the clutch ability on that bomb is insane.
Yo, boys, I hate to interrupt this shit, but something just crazy legitimately just happened. My daughter just said her first words. Not kidding.
No way.
No shit. Let's go.
Yes, brother. What
were the words?
I don't fuck with LaRue.
I knew shit. No, we need a live react from Sam right now. Is he slumped?
Oh, man. Let's go.
See, it's massive. Look at that.